Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. Thursday, September 29th. Let's get going. Job report numbers out. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Jobless claims comes in at 1347, and the consensus was 138. So a little bit better there. All right, nothing to take a look at there. So it is 8:30. We'll usually wait till 8:35. Let everybody tune in here. Let me go ahead and put these tweets out so we can get everybody to hop in. Hop in. Perfect. All right, Marjan, good morning. Daniel, good morning. Nancy, good morning. How you doing, Nancy? All right. Winfred, good morning. Oscar, my man, good morning. Edgar, good morning, boss. Thursday already? I know, man. Holy, this week kind of flew by. Can't believe it was Thursday. Mr. Snowboarder, what's going on? Good morning, Don. Good morning. Good morning, number 1000. Good one. Sky, my man. What's going on? Good morning. Diana, good morning. All right. Ajed, good morning. All right, guys. So we usually wait till around 8:35. Got a few more minutes here. We'll let everybody kind of trickle in. You know, it's Thursday. I know the market's gapping down. Some people wake up, look at the market. If it's gapping down, they just go straight back to bed. But not us. We grinding. Every day we grinding. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I always wonder, man, there's like 35, 40 people here viewing and only 11 people say good morning. Where your manners at, ladies and gentlemen? Eric, my man. Guten Morgen. Is that German? All right. We got probably about 2 more minutes and we'll dive right in. 2 more minutes. And we'll get kicked off here. For those of you that are here nice and early, go ahead and smash that like button. There's about 40 of you in here and only 12 likes. You guys are always hesitant on smashing that like button. Just go ahead and smash it. Nancy, good Thursday. Good Thursday morning, everyone. Smash that like button. See, there's my leader right there. SJX10 Gaming, good morning. First day here was just grabbing coffee. Nice. Coffee's always good in the mornings. Coffee and markets, man. I used to drink coffee a lot in the mornings. Well, espressos, actually. Mel's, good morning. Anthony, morning from Vegas. Nice. Gotta love it over there, man. All right, guys, just a few more minutes here. 1 more minute and we'll dive right in. So we will start with the market analysis of the SPY and the Qs. After that, we'll dive into the free alerts and how you guys can take those free alerts. And then, lastly, we'll go ahead and ask you guys what tickers you guys are watching, whether you're looking to trade it on the long side or short side, or calls or puts, and whether you're looking to day trade or swing trade those. So when we get into that portion, if you can tell me the ticker, whether you want to day trade it, and whether it's calls or puts, that would help me answer your questions. Eric, yeah, it's German. Awesome. Ivan, good morning. Redika, good morning. Mikhail, good morning from OKC. Nice. Apple and Tesla got downgrades. Shocker. Shocker, shocker, shocker. Alright, I can pull them back a little bit here, but we'll dive right in shortly. About 10 more seconds and we'll get started. I believe GDP is coming out. Let's take a look. Core PCE 5.6 versus actual 4.4. GDP is 0.6 versus 0.6. All right, that's fine. So we'll dive right in here, guys. Legit Mover Chicago, good morning. Mortis, good morning. Jeff, good morning. First time. How you doing, Jeff? Welcome to the channel, my man. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So we will start with the SPY, and then we'll dive into the Qs, and then we'll get over some of the free alerts, and then get into the questions that you guys may have. Okay, so here we go. SPY. All right, this is why, technicals are so important to me, right? And this is why. So we bounced off of this 362 level. We pushed up, double bottom here, pushed, continued higher, retested, went up. 200 moving average, right? 200 moving average prior was also rejected, and then we rejected again here. Great. So when we got up here, a few of us discussed how this was going to reject, and we were going to pull back. Now, obviously, no one expected this much of a drop. However, we did make our waves all the way back down to that level. Okay, now where did we hit? We hit this prior support of this 362.50. And look how many days they decided to hold this up. All right, so there's buyers kind of coming in here and trying to prevent this catastrophic meltdown if this 362.50 kind of rolls over again. So yesterday we put in a pretty good candle. Whether this is the bottom or a relief bounce, that's not what I'm here to explain, but it is an area where we bounced from, and where are we going to retest as an area of resistance. So these past areas right here, right, where we saw support and now we're under, it's going to start acting as resistance, right? And that's where we kind of came up to yesterday before getting this bit of selling pressure now in the pre-market and rejection, a little bit of a gap down. All right, ideally, in order for us to continue moving higher, we're gonna have to get back above that level. We need to get price action above this level, consolidate, so we can then continue at least to pop back up here, and at that point we'll have the moving average over our head, and we could kind of see what happens there. Maybe then we'll see if more strength comes in or whatnot. Okay, but ideally, in order to move higher, we got to get above this 372.46. That's the vital area. So let's dive into the 15-minute time frame here and take a look. So what are we looking at in regards to the levels today? Okay, so I'm looking at my levels back up. You can see 372 right there. Bam, we hit it, rejected. And this 369, 368, 369 was another area of support, now acting as resistance. Came up to it, rejected, and now we're falling down over again. Okay, so we're starting to see some more weakness here in the pre-market. The levels we need to pay attention to, obviously, was this 368.90 level. If we could have gotten above this and held, then we could look to push this 372 again, and then that vital area, and then 373, right? Now that we've rejected it, we need to focus on this 364.90, right? Why? Obviously, it was respected there. It's respected here. Now we got to see what happens when we open this price. Yesterday as well, we had these rejection areas. You can see right here, right? This is a valid area. We've had multiple areas of rejection, broke out of it, continued higher. Now we're coming back down. We're getting these wicks at these levels, giving us confirmation that this is a valid area. So if this level breaks, then we're looking to come down to the 362 and ultimately that 360 area. This area, again, is very vital. I think we need to hold the market up above this level. And if not, we could really see accelerated selling and VIX popping up here. Okay, so again, just to put it in perspective really quickly, 364.90 is that level to watch now, and then 368.90 for the upside. Okay, if this breaks to the downside, 364.90, then 362.359, above 368.92, you'll look to retest that key area of 372 and hopefully push higher. So take a picture of these levels if you want. 9 out of 10 times they're respected very well, these SPY and Q levels that I have. You guys are more than welcome to take a screenshot of it if you want and use it for your trading. All right, so I'm going to hop back out here and go to the daily chart, and I'm going to go to the Qs. So here we are again, the Qs. Similar, very similar look. However, we're not at an area of resistance like we were with the SPY. We've kind of came up above that level. The resistance points were a little bit lower on the Qs, and we've kind of pushed up a little bit here. But very similar look, push up, pull back down to old support, and now we're kind of bouncing. And hopefully, or ideally, we could see that move back to the 286. So let's look at the closer time frame again. Perfect. So similar setup. 280.36 rejected. Now we're putting this resistance area at this 278 level, and that's going to be the level we got to focus on. Why? We had an area of breakout here, retested, held, and pushed up, and now that same area intraday is starting to act as a resistance point. Okay, so that 278 level is a level we got to pay attention to. Above that, we could look to push higher. Very similar with the SPY, which the SPY's level was 268.92, and the Q's is 278. Okay, so if we can get above that 278 level, then we can look to kind of push higher into this 280. And if we break back under this 275, which it's trying to right now, then we can look to roll back down to the 273, and ideally the 269, which is support from pre-market yesterday as well. Okay. So although I don't want this to happen, I'd rather see the market kind of push up a little bit higher here. This gap down, kind of getting a little bit of collection of shares and liquidity down here, hopefully for another push higher. But these are the levels we got to pay attention to. Anything in between, you kind of want to be careful. You want to find stocks that have relative strength or weakness that are moving without the market. Then you can kind of trade those. But if the market continues to chop in between this range, you got to be careful on taking positions. All right, so that's in regards to the Qs and the SPY. Again, I'm going to clear these levels. You guys are more than welcome to take a screenshot of these levels so you can use it for your trading. But now let's dive into the free alerts and discuss why I think these are good. So let's take a look at RCL. All right. So RCL, we can see we've got pretty good resistance area right here at that 47.70 level, right? We've rejected it once. We've came back up to it again yesterday, having a hard time. So if we can push back up and penetrate through this 47.70, 47.75, then I would look to take this higher to the upside. Okay. Now the area that I would be looking for some downside move on this one would be the 46.30 area. Okay. And 46.30 area essentially just eliminates yesterday's pivot right here. Right, that little valley we pushed up, held it all day, and now we're kind of staying above that. So if we lose that 46.30 level, then you could look to kind of break down and go back into the support areas of prior days. Okay. So your trigger on this one is going to be 47.70 to the upside and 46.30 to the downside. Okay. I'll talk about how you guys can take these alerts and different angles on how you can take them so you guys can be prepared. And here we are with BYND, very similar look, rejection, an open price that dropped, rejection. So now what we're looking at here, we need to get above that 16.11, penetrate that in order to move higher. And if we want to trade the downside on this one, I think the safe place to take the downside puts on this one would be around 15.30. Again, why? Because we had that strong push up. It is an old area of resistance, which is now support. And if that support breaks, we could see that sell off back down to the downside of at least coming into this area of around 14.30. Okay. So both directions possible, still within range, hasn't broken out. So we'll only address it once it does break out. Lastly, we got coin. Gonna look at coin. I really want to see this one break out, as once it does get going, this name does get interesting. So on this one, I want to see this over that 67.75 level, right? Again, very similar look. We've got resistance, and if we can break above that, we've continued to kind of push yesterday strong, held up high very well. And if we can do that again, curl back around and push and break this out, I'm looking to trade this to the upside. And of course, if 64.95 breaks, 64.95, which is trying to hold up here a little bit, that's that pivot low from yesterday. If we lose that, ideally 64.50, then you can look to kind of break this down to the downside. Okay, now I'm gonna kind of jump in here and explain to you guys what is a good entry and what isn't a good entry. So because our trigger point is all the way up here at 67.72 and price is at 65, what you don't want to do is see the market kind of will open here and shoot all the way up here. Let's say it does that. Okay, let's say it shoots from 65 all the way up to 67.70 without stopping. This is not a place to buy calls, right? Yes, it's coming to trigger. Yes, the idea is take it long over 67.72, but that doesn't necessarily mean just buy it blindly at this level. So a few things need to happen because we've made already such a drastic push from 65 to 67. That's a 4% move, right? Because of that, we need to wait for some sort of a consolidation to take place, some sort of a breakout and retest. Okay. Ideally, what you want to happen here, you want to wait for either consolidation or flag to form, right? And you want to see the volume bars here, strong volume, decreasing volume, and then on this breakout, you can enter right there, okay, with that increasing volume coming back in. That is where you can take the trade, okay? Don't want to take it there, or we don't get that setup, and this is the alternative method. We push up, we actually break out, and you want to get it back on the retest, and then continue higher. Okay, so you never, after such a 4% move, you don't want to take the calls right there. It's already made its drastic move. Now, if this is to penetrate the downside, because it hasn't really made a drastic move to come down, it's already trading right at that trigger level. And if we open and we kind of come down and you see price hesitation and then it breaks, great. I usually will take that trade right there and take the accelerated move to the downside. Within the first 5 minutes, if there isn't a big distance from my trigger from the move that originally made, I will most likely take the trade right then and there. Okay. So again, within the first 5 minutes, you got to really look at where the stock is, where it was, where it is now. If it's closer to the trigger and hasn't made a huge move towards the trigger, I would take the trade right then and there and take advantage of the big volatile move that comes with after it. Or if we've kind of, time has passed by and it's been like an hour into the market and we're coming down and we hit the trigger, I wouldn't take the trigger regardless of where we are. We need a breakout and retest before I get involved on the put side. Okay? If an hour or two has passed, we always need a breakout and retest to get involved just to be safer. You could always anticipate the breakdown, but you always put yourself at a higher risk, right? The retest will be a lot safer for you guys. So that's in regards to those alerts, how to take them. If you guys are still here, go ahead and smash that like button. I'm going to jump into the chat now. And if you guys have any questions regarding some of the tickers you want to trade, whether it's calls or puts, day trading or swing trading, let me know. That way I can look at it and see what I think and hopefully help you guys out a little bit. All right, so Henry, good morning. Grow my stock, good morning. Michael Warren, Meta, day trade put. Perfect. Let's take a look at Meta. So Meta also had a very strong day yesterday. I think the puts, I'd only be interested under 139. You can see an area of resistance on it yesterday. It broke out, held above it. We're trying to hold it here at 139. If 139 breaks, you could try for the put side down to the 137.60, 137 area, and that would probably be it on this. But again, wait for the 139 to break, and then you can take the puts at the downside. Why? We have an intraday straight push, not much price action here above all the resistance. All the resistance new support. Support breaks, you could very easily take it down to the 137. Can you please look at KO? It's moving a lot. Let's take a look at KO. KO is moving a lot. I'm not sure what that means. In what sense? It did have a pretty drastic sell-off. And it put in a little bit of a bullish candle yesterday. In regards to it moving a lot, I don't really know what that means, but to take it, first of all, I wouldn't even trade Coca-Cola. It's so slow; it doesn't even move as much to make any decent money on it. But you could trade it over 57.30 if you want, or 57. Then you can try to push it back to this 57.50 resistance. That's where that breakdown happened. That's where that volume increased as well. And that's your old resistance area. So around 57.60, 57.70, you're going to see a resistance area if you take it over 57. And that's really all I would pay attention to here. Yesterday's candle doesn't really put us in a situation to try to buy puts. It was a little bit bullish, so we can try it over the 57 if you want. But I think there's lots of other names out there that you can trade that are going to be a lot better than trading Coca-Cola. Apple day trade put. Right, let's take a look at Apple day trade put. So we'll start with the daily here. We had this hammer kind of come off the lows yesterday after that news about cutting back production. Decent support at this 144.80, 144.30 level. And then your next big support is probably going to be around 142. Okay, so let's go back 15 minute. So if you want to buy puts on this, I really wouldn't get involved until we break 144.80. That was an area we bounced at yesterday. If you try to buy puts here at like 145.30, you could try to take advantage of this little yank down, but 0.3% of a move is not going to pay you much in premium. Or you could wait for a pop back up to 147.50, use that against your stop. But ideally, if 144.80 breaks down, retests, that's the better entry. Or if it breaks down early on, 144.80, you can try that. You can see that was yesterday's support as well as some support that I have drawn on the daily chart. So for puts, you got to get under 144.80, and that's the only time I would pay attention to that one. Colin, good morning. What's going on? Guys, if you're still here, go ahead and smash that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Rory and M's World, what do you think about the megaphone pattern on SPY 2 and 4 hour? It tells me we're going back down to 357 today. Not a fan of the megaphone pattern. To be honest, I don't really pay attention to those patterns. Megaphone pattern on the 2 and 4 hour. I don't really see how you could draw a megaphone pattern to the downside, I guess, if that's what you're referring to. But it's not really, your prices are not really touching it after these few points. So to base a trade off of that pattern, I don't think the SPY has that pattern in it at the moment. A megaphone pattern here, I'd have to see how you drew it for me to identify it as how you have it. But oh wait, that's Apple. My bad. Let's take a look. Yeah, I still don't really see. I see what you're saying, but to me, it's still not really a. Like, why do you say 357? Why not? Why not the top side of the pattern? We haven't really hit support for you to establish whether we were at resistance or support here with this megaphone pattern. Anyways, not something I pay attention to, and it's not really something I do or focus on. But you could simply just follow the support and resistance levels. That's what I usually do. What time frame do you use? I can't really tell from my phone screen. It depends. For my day trading, I use 2 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. For my support and resistance, I use dailies. And yeah, that's it. Harry, good morning. What's going on, my man? Mel is thinking of taking a QQQ call leap 12 months at these levels. Good risk to reward. 12 months too far out. So with leaps, I'm always against anybody investing long term with options. Why restrict yourself to a time why restrict yourself to a certain time frame? If you're going to buy something and you want to invest it in the long term, prevent yourself from losing money while it's just getting theta decayed. Just use cash and buy it in the long term. The only reason why somebody would want to buy a leap is because they want to make more money than they would, because they don't have the capital to buy actual shares. To me, that's a little risky. Think about all the people that bought leaps a few months ago, or whatever the case may be. Now their leaps are gone to shit. They can't even average down because their positions are totally ruined. So buying long terms with options, I'm highly against. And I think you should really buy shares. Gives you the ability to hold longer if you need to, without theta or time decay eating away at your money. And also, if you need to average down, you have the right to, without, again, time decay eating away at your money. Simon, GM day trade put below 34. GM day trade put under 34. All right, let's take a look at the daily level here. So 34 is a good support level. We do have an inside day. 34 break would accelerate the selling possibly back down to 33 level. So that is not a bad idea. You have an inside day. That inside day trigger would ideally come from 34.30. And then your low of day from prior day at around 34 would kind of accelerate you to kind of sell back down here. So from 34 down to 33 is about a 3% move. So not a bad trade there, but you have to wait to break 34. So wait for that, hopefully consolidation right at that 34 level, and then a snap. Then you can take it for an aggressive, nice little sell-off right down to the 33 level, which would work perfectly. M Watts 3560 by the end of the day. Book it, sir. Thank you. Nice, good to know. Mel's, thank you. Gurav, Amazon call day trade. All right. Amazon call. For me to get involved on Amazon calls, we really got to get above this resistance point. You can see multiple days we've had rejection at this level, 118.30. We'd have to curl around, consolidate under that level, break out. Then I would look for calls. Then we have a nice little area that we can push into towards the 121 level. Otherwise, don't really want to take calls in between. Why? Because we could hit pre-market resistance and reject. We could hit yesterday's close price and reject. We could hit the prior resistance and reject. Ideally, I want to get over all that resistance. Then we can look for a solid move straight to the 121.83 level, which gives us about a good chunk of room to move, and then we can take advantage of that. Can we buy SPY put? SPY put. So with, I hate trading SPY. I despise this frickin' trading this. But anyways, you could trade SPY. Yeah, it's 364.90. Once that breaks, you would possibly fall to the 362. You just have to learn how to navigate the expiries and find the sweet spot that works for you. A lot of people trade SPYs with 0 days till expiry, and they get stopped out too often because they don't understand how theta decay is going to chew away at their premiums. So you got to understand, and you got to learn the fine line between a 0 day to expiry, 2 day to expiry, 7 day to expiry, and establish your stop percentages accordingly. Some people take 0 day till expiries and they give themselves 10% stops. Well, 9 out of 10 times you'll get stopped out, regardless if the stock moves your direction or not. 9 out of 10 times you'll get stopped if your stop is 10% on a 0 day till expiry. Now, if you have them 1 month out and you have a 10% stop, great, that's different. It's not going to stop you out as much. So the closer day time frame you have, the higher risk the trade, the higher and the bigger your range of stops need to be. So if you're trading lottos on SPY, you have to have at least 50 to 60, in my opinion, 70% stops in order to let it work out. So you could trade it, like I said, 364.90 breaks. We would probably retest that 362. Just figure out which expiry and which stoppage suits your abilities and your risk tolerance. Nancy, everyone smash that like button. Dan Man, Apple put. Let's take a look. I think we talked about Apple put. Wouldn't trade puts on it until 144.80 is broken to the downside. Jesse Stokes, wow, you just dropped some knowledge for me. I was wondering why my stops got hit. Yes, you really got to understand there's a reason why there's expiries on these options, right? And every strike and every expiry has different thetas, deltas, vega, everything. All the Greeks are different when it comes to those expiries and whatnot. So the closer you are to an expired option that's going to expire very soon, the more volatile that option will be. That's why you'll see some people within the last 10 minutes of the day trading 0 day till expiry on SPY and make like 400%. Well, because one, that option is going to expire within 10 minutes. Two, it's extremely higher risk. If you're right and it falls, great. You're going to make a big chunk of money, but ultimately it's going to be hard for you to get out of that position as well. So, a few things to kind of take into consideration. Lvomsky Peter, what is the tool you use for charting? This is TD Thinkorswim. I don't use any indicators other than the 200, the 50, and the 20 moving average, and that's about it. Kashif, thank you very much. Gurav, on options, what percentage you recommend stop loss? They move too much. Like I said, on options, it all depends on what expiry you choose. Usually, I choose 1 week out expiries, Monday to Thursday. That, to me, is a 20-30% stop max loss. On 0 day till expiries, I treat each option trade as a 100% stop. And with the money I put in, it's either going to go to 0 or it's going to pay me. All right. Guys, it's 9:01 here. I got to jump back into the room. If you guys are still here, go ahead and smash that like button. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got to get ready for the day trade today, or the day today, and start trading. Remember, every Thursday we do go live right here on YouTube. We'll catch you guys here next week. Same time, same place. Thank you guys for all tuning in, and we'll catch you next week. Have a good one.